The goal of teaching reading is to enable pupils to comprehend written texts. To do this, pupils need to build both word reading and language comprehension skills. It's a complex process that involves the sum of many parts coming together. There are models that can prove helpful to teachers working to support their pupils' developing reading ability. The Reading Comprehension House model illustrates how a number of building blocks underpin word reading and language comprehension. These parts build on one another and connect as pupils learn to read. The left-hand side of the house illustrates that to become proficient at word reading, pupils must first build a phonological awareness of the sound structures of language. As pupils develop phonological awareness, they learn to recognize and work with the sounds of spoken language, such as identifying words that rhyme or counting the number of syllables in a name. Pupils also need knowledge of how language is represented in writing, known as their print knowledge. Pupils with print knowledge understand that words and letters have different purposes. For example, they understand words consist of letters and spaces appear between words. That in English, print is read from left to right and top to bottom. These two building blocks support pupils learning to decode and translate written words into the sounds of spoken language. Phonics is an approach used to teach this. It emphasizes the skills of decoding new words by sounding them out and combining or blending the sound spelling patterns. Pupils first learn to hear, identify, and use phonemes and patterns of sound. They are then systematically taught the relationship between these sounds and the written spelling patterns that represent them. Skilled readers can begin to recognize some full words automatically after repeated encounters and learn to read with fluency. There are three defining features of a fluent reader. They can read accurately, decoding, recognizing, and reading words correctly. They can read with automaticity, reading at an appropriate speed without great effort. They can also read with prosody, using appropriate stress, intonation, volume, phrasing, smoothness, and pace to bring a text alive. A fluent reading style allows pupils limited cognitive resources to be freed from focusing on word recognition and redirected towards comprehending the text. Fluency can therefore be described as a bridge from word recognition to language comprehension. The right-hand side of the house shows that to build strong language comprehension skills, pupils need to first develop an understanding of grammar and syntax. They will need to know the rules of speech and noun-verb agreements, as well as how words are structured within sentences. Pupils must also build up a wide-ranging vocabulary. As pupils read more complex texts, they should be supported to learn the meanings of new words through a range of approaches, such as pre-teaching new words, exploration of meaning, and repeated exposure across spoken language, reading, and writing. These two building blocks support pupils to make inferences, using the information in a text to understand implied ideas rather than explicitly stated. They use strategies such as rereading a passage or clarifying the meaning of a new word to help make sense of the text. They also support pupils to monitor their comprehension as they read. Pupils also need to encounter different text structures and genres. This helps them understand the differences between fiction, non-fiction, and other concepts. Weaknesses in any brick of the house can cause pupils to struggle with their reading. Using diagnostic assessment to identify the specific part of reading that a pupil finds difficult is crucial to providing appropriate support. More information on the topics discussed here can be found in the EEF's guidance report, Improving Literacy in Key Stage 2, or by visiting the website eef.li/literacy-KS2.